Good morning, and it's wonderful to see all of you here. In 2009, when I'd just been appointed Pro-vice-chancellor, I went along to a rather quiet, poorly attended meeting in the old schools, which was to talk about collaborations in other parts of the world. And having just come from a global business and being used to much more dynamic interactions, I was feeling a little despondent when Professor David Dunn got up slowly to start talking about his work in Africa. And of course, talking about his work in Africa meant he was talking about your work in Africa, because David had made clear from the beginning that long before strategic research initiatives existed, long before the networks existed, there were a number of you who were already engaged and had been, in some cases for decades, with all parts of Africa. As I sat there listening to him, my sense of Cambridge as not really having done much or looked outward much internationally dramatically changed in the 20 minutes that I heard him speak. And I went into our previous Vice-Chancellor's office and said, we really need to do much, much more to support not only our colleagues in Africa, of course, but more particularly as well, what we can do here in Cambridge to support the number of faculty who have worked across the years. What do we do in Africa? You support and you supervise PhD students. You then collaborate with them as postdocs, and you turn them into colleagues, one individual at a time. Now, at the time we all started this, that was a little unfashionable because Gates was flooding the money with, flooding the system with money, lots of other people talking about Africa, often as a problem to be solved by the West. And Cambridge was taking a distinctively different approach. It was saying the problem is not Africa. In fact, Cambridge needs Africa more than Africa needs Cambridge, but we have a real contribution and a wish to involve ourselves, for our own research, because it makes us stronger than we were before. So 5 years later, I think David Dunn has probably got better slides, but other than that, we're hoping that he'll also introduce the program. I hope this is the first of many Cambridge Africa Days. It doesn't seem like much to an outside world, perhaps, but this is the first time in my knowledge that the university has done a day devoted to a country. And of course, that's a start. Anything that David outlines that we've achieved so far, I think for those of you in the room, is a small step to what we could do. Small but pretty prestigious. The Carnegie Corporation describes our work as not only distinctive to any other university in the world, but any other approach from any entity they're aware of in the world. It needs to be not only preserved, it needs to be enhanced and supported. And so in any of you that get ideas from today, because it is your day, are thinking of new thoughts, thinking of new approaches, find people in the Cambridge Africa team, find me. Let's continue the discussions, because what we're going to showcase today is a start of what we're doing. It is not a summation of what we could do. So without further ado, could I introduce you to the gentleman that started all of this off by representing all of you to a university that needed to be more aware of the strengths it had, David Dunn.